Hi again. I'm Kelly with the University of Michigan Center for Ergonomics, and I am continuing to share with you some information and insights about the 3DSSPP software, developed right here at the University of Michigan. Moving forward from the first video, it's time to take a more in-depth look at some of the main panels within the 3DSSPP interface. So if we look at the program screen, we see that it is divided into a number of panels or windows. And the first one I want to direct your attention to is the status window. And really, one way to orient yourself in this program is to take a look at the top title bar of each of these panels, where you'll be able to identify which one you're working with if you ever find yourself getting lost. The status window is the panel that lists selected input data and analysis results. So if you look at the anthropometry section here in the top left hand of the status window, you'll see we've chosen a 50th percentile male. It tells us how tall this person is and his weight. Note that the units are given inches in pounds in this case. If we look to the right of this section, we'll see the hand forces, which tell us what forces are acting on each hand. This time, the unit of measure, pounds, is shown in the section title. If you look at this graphic with these red downward arrows, that's going to signify a downward force acting on the hands, allowing us to assume from the forces that the person is performing a lifting task. The next section of the status window tells us where each hand is located in the X, Y, and Z directions from the center of the measurement coordinate system. It's important to note here where the coordinate center is. By default, it is located at the midpoint between the ankles at the level of the floor. Note that the units, inches this time, appear in the title of this section. By the way, the English units we are seeing can be changed to metric units using a menu command. We'll go into that in later videos. While we're talking about the measurement coordinate system, let's move over to the window directly to the left of the status window. Here is where we're going to see a three-dimensional human representation, or avatar. You can see our X, Y, and Z axes represented by 3 arrows at the feet of the avatar. Holding your right mouse button and dragging within the avatar window will allow you to rotate the avatar view. Holding your left mouse button and doing the same will move your avatar around within the window without rotating it. Well, it will appear to rotate a little because you are actually moving the camera or viewing point up and down or left and right. So these are 2 commonly used ways of repositioning the view of your avatar. I highly recommend playing around with it and getting familiar with the way the controls operate. The reason we came here really though is the coordinate system. Now if you look at the 3 arrows, the red upward arrow is going to be your vertical or Z axis. The blue arrow pointing off to your left is going to be your horizontal or Y axis. Finally, the green forward pointing arrow is going to be your lateral or X axis. The arrows always point towards the positive direction of the axis. A good way to orient yourself should you forget which arrow is which axis is to look at the top 3 windows, which contain stick figures of your avatar. These are the views from each of the positive directions of the axes, Z, Y, and X from left to right. The first window on the left, labeled top, is looking from the positive Z axis. It is even stated in the title. This view is looking at the top of the avatar. The middle window represents our front view of the avatar looking from the positive Y axis. And finally, we have a side view looking from the positive X-axis in the window on the right. And again, with each of these views situated as they are in front of you, we're looking from the positive Z, Y, and X axes. Now back to the status window. When we look at the actual numbers in the hand locations section, these numbers measure the center of grasp location in the direction of each axis. The grasp location is somewhere just in front of your knuckle on the palm side of your hand. If you make a grasp as if it were around a handle, it would be the center of the handle. That's the default grasp location. Continuing on below these top 3 sections within the status window, we're going to look at the section with this bar graph titled 3D Low Back Compression. This is one of the program's analysis outputs and changes with the inputs. The value of the back compression force that the 3DSSPP calculated is over here to the right of the bar graph. And you'll notice that the value is represented on this bar graph by this black and bolded tick mark seen here in the green third of the bar graph. We'll talk about the details of low back compression analysis in later videos, but for now it's important to note that back compression calculations less than 770 pounds, which is in the green section of the bar graph, have been shown to be related to a low incidence of work-related low back pain and injuries. Tasks associated with back compression in the yellow region signify a 3 times increase in incident of work-related low back pain and/or injuries. Tasks associated with back compression force in the red region are associated with incidence rates of work-related back pain or injuries up to 10 times that of work tasks with back compression force in the green area. The green area corresponds to back compression force less than 770 pounds, and this is referred to as the back compression design limit, or BCDL. The red region starts at 1,430 pounds of back compression force, and this is referred to as the back compression upper limit, or BCUL. So that's your first taste of the status window. Check out the next video in this series to experience a walkthrough of the rest of the powerful features all housed within this software.